Were you a big wrestling fan growing up? Or, I mean, I know you live just down the street from the Performance Training Center, so.
Yes. Look, ever since I was 6 years old, I started watching wrestling. And in the Dominican Republic, they used to play all those wrestling matches. So all those legends, Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, Jim Duggan, Ravishing Rick Rude, Jake the Snake Roberts, all those guys. I mean, I could just name them on and on. Loved wrestling. Even loved Dominican wrestling. Ric Flair. By the way, Jack Veneno, Dominican wrestler, beat Ric Flair. Beat him good. Ooh. Check it out. Look it up.
Oh.
Jack Veneno.
All right, so very good. All right, let's get through a few questions. What two players would make the best WWE tag team right now?
I would have to go with Donaldson and Cruz, and Nelson Cruz. I just think that 1-2 punch right there, they got incredible charisma. Donaldson looking like a ravenous Viking, that he is. So intense in everything he does. And then Nelson Cruz. I mean, come on, man. He carries that big stick, man. Boomstick, that's why we call him that. So I imagine him as Jim Duggan, the Dominican Jim Duggan, carrying like a big 2x4 with a big beard. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. I'm going to go with guys that are not on the same team. We'll start with Mike Trout, who, when he first came on Intentional Talk, he put on the whole Nacho Libre mask. He really got into character. Plus, you talk about one of the great athletes. He can do it all off the top rope. And then we saw him a little bit earlier in the show. Eric Thames, we know how strong he is. We know he loves his wrestling. He's been right there in the front row at several huge events before. He loves this stuff. He's got the charisma. He's got everything that it takes. So there you go. I like Trout and Thames. That's the ticket in 2020. Yeah. All right, up next. What player would be the best on the mic trash talker?
You know what? I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to show you this video right here. Check it out.
You, of course, in Canada are legal drinking age, so a celebratory Canadian beer would seem to make sense after a hit like that. You got a favorite beer, and
question, it's illegal to drink in the States at 19. Why don't you ask something else?
Not in Canada.
I'm not answering that.
Ask something else.
Bryce,
That's a clown question, bro.
That's a clown question, bro. Look, he would be like the king of sarcasm. And I don't think he'd be well liked. He'd be mostly hated, but he will still be popular. The king of sarcasm. I think he would be great at trash talking. Yeah.
So wait a second. Are you saying that Bryce Harper would be a heel?
Oh, he'll be like one of the most hated wrestlers in the whole entire league. or WWE. Which is good.
All right, for me, I'm gonna go with a guy who we know is probably certified the #1 WWE fan that is playing in the major leagues today. He's also one of our favorite guests out there.
Let me tell you something, brother. Talk about coming on one of the greatest shows on television airing right now.
I'm decked out head to toe. I even got the shoes on for you.
Woo! 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 That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Josh Reddick is great. In fact, he's come on this show, and we have done some trivia with him about wrestling, where he not only answers them, but he does it in each wrestler's voice. So he's got it all down. I think if there was just a wrestling network for him, he would probably stop playing baseball and go be an analyst for it. Pretty simple.
Maybe that's
there you go.
Something that he'll pursue later. Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. All right, last one.
Yeah.
Which MLB Network host or analyst would make the best wrestler, and what would their finishing move be called?
I would have to go with D-Row, Mike DeRosa. I mean, this guy's got you see the attitude. He's so cocky. You know what I mean? And he's a good-looking guy. He's trying to flex his muscles. By the way, quarterback at Penn. Sorry about that. Ivy League. So he also has the brains. He's look at the good looks right there. He told me he was going to get in shape this quarantine. So I'm not sure, if he's kept up with the program, but he should be looking pretty good. And his finishing move would be something like the Jersey Turnpike. Something like rushing into your opponent. Yeah. And just devastating your opponent. That's my pick. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, it is good. It's solid, but this is really a layup. Anybody that knows him, Sean Casey, he is a huge wrestling fan. And you know how excited Casey gets when he tells his story. He's like, oh, bro, dude, I hung out with John Cena, and he slapped me across the chest, and bro, and like he's frothing at the mouth.
No,
now, the only other thing that
story.
Casey loves maybe more than wrestling is eating. So his finishing move would be called the mayoral meatloaf maneuver. And what that is right before he's going to go in for the pin, somebody hands him a meatloaf. He just takes a huge bite in the middle of the meatloaf, throws it down, finishing move, that's it. And Casey is your champion.
Man.
He's going to take the belt. He's going to be like, I'm so proud of having the belt.